All right. Monday, 2030, 14 seconds here, 2023, 6 month, June 19th day. And I thought of something for the bucket. I put all the in the ants, swimming ants or dead ants, or whatever the hell. I thought of a wonderful idea. And that was just send them back to their native habitat, which is the sidewalk. And there's two sidewalks on the gravel road over here, but there is no sidewalk, but there's designated, what's considered, city property, according to some man's rule, city property lines between the house and the road on each side. So, and in this case, it happens to be dirt. So there's dirt and grass or whatever, and on the other side of the road, there's bushes and dirt and a culvert, and it's a natural water ditch where the water goes down and drains out into the field or where the hell. So I put them on the drainage field side. So, I sent my GR ants, or the migrants, to the free speech zone called Sidewalk, or the side of the road. There we are, side of the road. and I put them on the far side of the road because the road would be like a natural border. So I put them back mainly on their side because they're used to being their native habitat for an ant is usually out in the monsoon areas where there's rivers and trees and shit and all that stuff, I mean, wherever there's grass and dirt, basically, and water, wherever the fuck. But temporarily for these, these legal situations, temporal night order situations, that I have to live in with this house and this yard and this space and whatnot, I like to, quote unquote, manage this area, supervise this area, and keep it to a nice, comfortable condition for me. And so, I thought it was a wonderful idea to send the migrants across the border over to that side to their natural habitat. These ants, which I'm just using it symbolically as a symbol, but for extraterrestrial Vatican money grants, or just grant period. Because the word grant, even in the international legal side, when I went and visited the international legal websites, I read it, like for human rights violations and stuff like that. When I was growing up, I heard there's a such thing as, the courts of international justice, and there's human rights violations, and we can go to the courts of international justice for ultimate remedy and shit like that. But I learned that that's all controlled too. But just to give an idea to dwell upon, human rights violations. Okay, so grants are actually a human right violation. To hand out grants. In other words, what a grant is it's saying, I am the creator and I have created everything and everything is under my control, and if everything under my control doesn't do as I expect it to do, then I shall eliminate it. I'll take it away. I'll take any right or contract away anytime I want. I'll just obliterate everything that was there that I gave you, because after all, I'm the grantor. Or I am the creator. And to me, that sounds like the Jesus story. It's all the same idea. I am the grantor, and you are the grantee, and I can take away the grant anytime I want, otherwise known as the ant. The grant, the GR ant, the growling ant, the growling ant giver, or the Indian is also known as an Indian giver. What is an Indian giver in folklore and common layman's language on the street? Well, that's someone that gives something to someone, and then if they don't like what they're doing, then they just take it away. They take it back. An Indian giver. It's the same idea as a grant giver. It's the same idea. So anyway, I'm just using these ants as a matching symbology, and there could be something to it. These ants, there could be something to these ants. these migrants, because that's what the leader considers. He considers it his grant. In other words, that's my grant. And so I look at this philosophy, and people crossing borders, nations crossing borders, and they're considered migrants. Migrants. To me, there seems to be some bigger picture to this whole thing going on in society and the whole system. There seems to be a bigger picture to me, how it all folds together, how it's intertwined and interconnected for a certain purpose. And the purpose seems to be to control something. Like central control, centralized control. So that's what ants are. Ants are basically centrally controlled, just like humans are centrally controlled. It's the same thing with ants. I think it's the same thing with all animals and stars and galaxy or whatever. I think there's always this something that's been controlling it. And I think this controlling factor has gotten way too out of hand. Way too out of fucking hand. And so, to me, it needs to be audited or exposed. Or to have an audition. See, how you think you control everything. All right, you little controlling little fucking child. Mama's going to sit here and make you think like you're winning. I'm going to have an audition before you and see what kind of choice you want to make. But ultimately, I am going to expose this situation going on. Ultimately, the mother's going to expose the childish situation going on. with the little controller, little fit throwing controller, little bully, little warrior, just a little kid who wants his own way. A little boy, and Mama knows best. Mama was the one that helped the little guy when she shot it out between the legs and it was just rolling around on the ground, helpless. She lifted the little guy to the tit. I'm sure it was hungry. The little child was hungry. Had lifted it up and helped it to suckle on the titty. So, not to control the little shithead, but to help the shithead to grow up. But as the little child was growing up, it learned, and it had to learn what the controlling side to everything. It had to know all options available to it. The child needed to learn all options available. So mother likes to let the child learn how to be selfish, a selfish little brat. Until it's time, mother says, all right, now it's time, now that you fully experience that, son. Now mother has something else to teach you. And the child's like, what? I thought I knew it all. Damn! Mother's like, no, river. Dam is what you've been growing up to learn. Now it's time to learn the river. The river? Yeah, freely flowing, not controlled. Anyway, it's all just, this just a story I present. I don't expect it to be believed. This is what I see going on. Anyway, as I observe everything. Later, pull finger. That's not in order. I'm just saying it. Pull finger. This little finger's going to hit the stop button to the recorder. It's just a figure of speech. I'm just having fun. Pull finger.